interviews with daddies.
Alright, here guys, welcome back to our podcast, and today we have a very special guest, Mr. Rational Debunker. Hello, Mr. Debunker, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay, how about you?
I'm doing well. Let's start off with a fun question like we always do. I know you watch a lot of movies, you're a movie critic, and I want to ask, what's the sexiest movie scene you've seen pretty recently?
Pretty recently? Well, I'd have to check and see what I watched recently. Yeah. It's so useful for keeping track of this stuff.
And I love the reviews, Just really tells me what I should think about the film, and educates.
Very useful for that.
Absolutely.
I haven't watched any movies recently. I just finished Stranger Things season 4, and I really dig nostalgia. I think nostalgia tells us a lot about our culture,
right?
And something about all that 80s fashion just really did it for me. I think Stranger Things is one of the sexiest TV shows out there,
Definitely. Any particular scenes or parts that really got you excited?
No, it's really just the whole atmosphere of the show, and it's the wonderful cast they have, really talented actors who just embody their characters with lots of charisma, and that kind of charisma and confidence is very attractive. It shines through.
Yeah. I find Hopper really sexy, something like that.
Well, maybe not Hopper. I think David, what's his name? David Harbour. David Harbour is he's a good action hero. He's a good leading man. He's got that new movie coming up where he plays this badass Santa. I wouldn't call him sexy, no.
All right. Well, anyway, I tried to do some small talk, but I know our audience really wants to get to the elephant in the room. The allegations from Mr. Caffeinated Critic.
Okay.
So,
First of all, let's not call it allegations, okay? Allegations is a really big word, and I don't think that even... It's stupid drama. It's stupid, petty bullshit drama brought on by this fucking Caffeinated Critic guy who I didn't even hear about this guy until
and for anyone who doesn't know this already, so the Caffeinated Critic accused Mr. Debunker here of being a pedophile. I'm just saying that so everyone knows, the basic context. Okay,
well, first of all, if you were to accurately categorize it, it would actually be ephebophilia, which is a lot different than pedophilia. You see, ephebophilia is specifically the attraction to minors. Yes, they are underage, but specifically to teenage bodies, not childlike bodies.
So that's the one you have?
No. I'm just trying to clarify it for the audience, and you're trying to make sure they were accurately informed, and that's what I'm trying to do.
So that's what he's accusing you of. Not necessarily what you have. Is that what you mean?
I wouldn't even call it accusing, because he has no fucking evidence. He's just this fucking, this dopey little nerdy fucking geeky twerp, who makes bullshit reviews. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, He didn't even know how vacuum was spelled correctly, it's just really dumb that it's even gotten this far, because there's nothing of substance here.
Right, but if we learn anything from Stranger Things, it's often the nerdy twerps that really know what's going on, who investigate, who, figure out. He said there's something big coming, a big investigation, a big something. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Listen, it's like when the police drag you into an interrogation room and they say, hey, we have somebody who can place you at the scene, but it's all bullshit. It's just it's an interrogation strategy. It's meant to intimidate, and it's meant to coerce you, to trick you into a false confession. And I'm not going to give a false confession. If I was guilty of something, I would have been arrested and prosecuted, convicted and jailed already, and I have not been. So that should speak for itself.
So you're saying there's no evidence for your crimes?
Absolutely not. And that fucking twerp, that motherfucker, caffeinated critic, doesn't know shit. He doesn't know shit. He's a twerp who doesn't know shit.
I just want to say sometimes, it's good to look at the bright side of things, the positive side. Like maybe this is an opportunity for you to like reveal something to your fans, to the audience, because, sometimes, people are a certain way and they can't help it, and there's nothing wrong with that, it's an immutable characteristic, sometimes you want to bring awareness, so I just want to say like maybe this isn't all bad, maybe you can say something, to the audience.
Well, I got nothing to say. Everything I have to say has already been said. Ask that fucking twerp caffeinated critic. He's, he seems to know everything. So everyone just direct your questions to that motherfucker, that jackass. I got nothing to say.
You have nothing to say, huh? I just think it's important, like there's so much drama that's going on, and we talked about like, yeah, we don't want drama, we want people to get along, and sometimes these dramas are about things that don't really matter, that things that aren't really that bad, and I think if you could just clear things up, I think everyone, would have a new kind of perspective that would be very helpful.
Listen, I like you. That's why I'm on this podcast. You're not like that fucking twerp, the caffeinated critic. But here's the thing, is that if I had anything to say, I would have said it already. If I was guilty of anything, it would have come out already. But it hasn't, because there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing to see here. And I know what you're trying to do. You want to get a big scoop out of this, but there's no scoop, My fans, my disciples, they know this. I always encourage them. Do your own research, think for yourself, and think critically, And if people do their own research, they think for themselves, and they think critically, they will see the truth. And the truth, which I am always a prophet of, is that, if I have done anything, I've done nothing wrong. And if I've done nothing wrong, then I'm not guilty of a crime.
Right, so what you've been doing isn't wrong. That's what you're saying.
Sure. I haven't been doing anything, but sure.
All right. Well, obviously, Mr. Debunker doesn't want to talk about this anymore. So let's talk more about your travels to Vietnam for the film festival. Yeah, how's that coming along?
Oh, I'm really looking forward to exploring the beautiful regions they have. They have a lot of really beautiful, like a lot of beautiful what's it called? Like wildlife there, and I'm really looking forward to the food. I've heard, the cuisine is amazing. And I've heard the Vietnamese people are very hospitable.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a tradition.
The caffeinated critic actually just got back from a trip to Vietnam.
I'll say this, okay? That fucking hack, he doesn't know how to appreciate half of Vietnam's natural beauty, okay? So I guarantee you, I will come away with a more enlightened perspective on the nation state than he ever fucking will in his entire life. Don't fucking listen to that twerp about Vietnam. He doesn't know shit about the Vietnamese. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to the hospitality of the Vietnamese people. Mm-hmm. I've heard it's a tradition for especially the younger children to be very accommodating of adults, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to experiencing this whole other world, this whole other culture that relatively is different from ours, but that's not a bad thing.